Greetings everyone, it's Kirsten here, coming at you with a little greasy hair, a little bit more casual, and a little bit closer up because I just decided while I do my stage makeup for tonight's performance of the Nutcracker that I will be dancing in. I might as well just film it and you guys get a tutorial and I get ready and it's just a win-win. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so first off, you'll notice that I already have a little bit of makeup on. It's just kind of like my minimal everyday makeup. This is usually how I start just because I'll typically do my stage makeup later in the day after like going about my business, you know. But if you're starting from scratch, just do some foundation, concealer like under the eyes or on blemishes or whatever. And that'll be a good base to start from there. So anyway, since I already have that stuff on, I'm going to start by using some eyeshadow base, and for that I just use this NARS eyeshadow base, but you can do whatever the heck you want, or if you're really feeling crazy and you don't have an issue with your eyeshadow like fading or creasing, even though you probably do, if you sweat, then you might want to try this. And also, yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm not that awesome at like doing this super delicately. A lot of people are like, you rub your eyes and whatever. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I mean, it gets the job done, so there's that. But I just kind of pat it in all over. I'm gonna try and do the rest of this for the most part, other than the talking I have to do, in fast forward or forward motion, I don't know, speeding it up so that this isn't like 30 million years long. But anyway, from there I use this Maybelline cream eyeshadow that is this color, and I just use that as another base layer, and then I just have to put a little bit of eyeshadow on top and we're good to go. I'm hoping that this looks decent because I'm just using the like my camera on my phone. I run a very high quality operation over here on the TwinTalksBallet YouTube channel. I use my iPhone, although you could probably tell that from the quality already. But anyway, I just put a little of that on my finger. I start on the outside, put a little bit more over the lid, kind of roughly put it on there, just so it's like more concentrated towards the outside of the eye. And I feel like I'm also gonna look cross-eyed in this whole video, which is really flattering. But oh well, you'll get to see what I'm doing at least. So there's that. I think that's blended and somewhat even. I'm probably gonna watch this later and be like, wow, not even close to being even on both eyes, but I can fix that later. And in the meantime, you guys can get the general idea of how I do my stage makeup. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and layer some eyeshadows on top of this, and it'll help the cream eyeshadow set in place, and then it'll all just stick on my eye, and it's great, and I can sweat and perform and whatever, and the colors will still be there. So I use these colors from a BareMinerals palette, or BareMinerals palette, and I think the quad is called The Truth. That's really dramatic. I don't know why. So I'm gonna use this taupe color here. I recommend, like, you don't have to use these eyeshadows. You don't even have to use nice ones really, but just get a neutral, like cool toned brown eyeshadow palette with a couple different shades of brown, and you'll be good to go. Like, it could be from a grocery store, doesn't even matter. So what I did is I took this flat brush just like that and just put it over my eye, kind of blended it out into the crease a bit. Do it on the other side too. Okay, let's just appreciate this for a second. Hey buddy! Oh my gosh, she's so crazy. Anyway, that's Alice, by the way, if you're new to my videos. If you have only watched like one or two of my other videos, you probably already know who Alice is because she kind of just makes an appearance every time. So the next thing I'll do is I'm gonna do this like darker brown shade. These all have a tiny bit of sheen to them, but for the most part they come off as like a satin finish. I recommend like matte or satin finish eyeshadows. Don't go for crazy sparkly stuff, usually because it catches the light at different angles and different ways, and it doesn't often have the same impact, especially since there are so many lights on stage. You kind of don't want the effect of your makeup to go away just because it's reflecting the light, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's just the way I see it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on this fluffy brush Put that on the outside of the eye and in the crease. And this will help especially if you don't have deep set eyes like I do. So I don't find that I have to put a ton of eyeshadow in the crease of my eye. Obviously I have a substantial amount right now, but I do have to be careful to leave some space on my brow bone just so there's like a separation in color between like my eyelid and then my eyebrow. It's not like all dark. But if you have like a mono lid or just not like a very harsh crease to your eye, you definitely want to make sure you have a good amount of eyeshadow in there. Actually, what I'll do most of the time is I can't even be bothered to be like one of those fancy makeup people on YouTube and blend something out with a clean brush. I'll just use my finger and kind of just brush away the corners or like the harsh edges on my eyeshadow. Oh my gosh, she's distracting me. You know, just to make a softer look. Without having too much fuss. So now that I have a good amount of like darker eyeshadows on my eyelids, I will just take the light, let's use a different finger, this color here, just like a light shimmery color. This is a good time to use shimmer because it's okay to have a little bit of like light reflection up here so it's a little bit brighter, but I recommend with the rest of your darker eyeshadows, like I said, just keep them matte. And you can also put some of that kind of on the inner corners of your eyes here. Alright, so that's kind of the eyeshadow done. From here, I just take some brown eyeliner. I just have this one from L'Oreal. It's like a matte brown eyeliner, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't see what I'm doing right now, but I just kind of hold my eyelid in place while I put some more eyeliner on my eye. I already had some on. But just a little bit, and it doesn't matter if you're, like I said, starting from scratch here. I'm gonna blend that away slightly, but anyway, I'm just gonna make like a winged eyeliner shape. And actually what I love about using a pencil eyeliner is that you could just use your finger to correct any mistakes. It does create a softer line, but it's still effective, and I don't find that you need like a harsh liquid liner look for this. Yeah, so I recommend this, especially for like a beginner. If you're not super comfortable with liquid eyeliner or you don't have like crazy makeup skills, this is a really good option. Just make sure and layer it a few times so it's really dark. Okay, so I feel like that is more or less even, you know, it'll do the trick. And I'm also about to add a line to my lower lash line, or like below that, to make my eye look bigger and also balanced out in darkness, kind of from the top and the bottom. You don't want so much like dark eyeshadow and eyeliner on the top of your eye and then absolutely nothing underneath. I think like a subtle line, or depending on your eye shape, you could even do like a line of dark eyeshadow that's thin and subtle and kind of like blend it out to look like your eyelashes once you put on mascara have like they're thick, or like there's some sort of shadow casted there that's not like you only have an upper eyelid, if that makes sense. And my biggest tip, I think this is a huge no-no, is I see a lot of people create an upper line this way and then they directly go from here and make a line going down. So it's like a fishtail, but they don't recognize that the effect they're creating is essentially one massive crow's foot. Like, is that crow's foot? Crow's feet? Wrinkles. Eye wrinkles. That's what I'm trying to say. So you really don't want to do that. You don't want to create any lines that go down on your eye at all. You want them all, they don't have to lift straight up. You want to elongate your eye, but also create like an almond type shape of an eye, you know, almond, what? Like an elongated eye, but one that also kind of goes up slightly, so you look happy and awake and alive, you know, all those good things. So I'm just going to create a really subtle line on the bottom lash line that isn't right up close to my eye, but just about here, and it doesn't go all the way in. You'll see what I'll do, but I'm also going to blend it out so it's subtle. You don't want a ton of harsh lines in stage makeup. You can actually blend out your makeup and make it look soft, but have it be dark, and then it'll still give a really good effect, but it doesn't look so harsh or unnatural. Although, I mean, who am I kidding? Like, stage makeup is not natural. It's just from afar, you don't want to look like there's an abnormal marking on your face. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so I'm going at this in the camera screen or phone screen. It's kind of hard. But I'm just starting with light little strokes, and I'm gonna make it parallel, more or less, to that line right there on the upper lash line. And every step or every line that I make, I'm going to go over it a few times. I blend it out a little bit so it's not so harsh, like I said. Oops. Okay, so I think more or less that's gonna be what I'll end up with. I'm gonna do the other eye and then just kind of like take a step back. That's my tip. Like, I recommend moving away from your mirror a couple times and seeing what you look like from a few feet away, because it's gonna help. I mean, obviously people won't be, or the people who matter, the audience, you know, they won't be looking at your makeup from super up close, probably not, hopefully not, depending on your theater situation, so make sure that you check it from as far back as you can. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with this for now. Once I put on my mascara, I might blend it out more or less depending on the total effect, because though I do want some color down there, I don't want it to be too dark. Yeah, but we'll get there. And I usually finish up with lashes and mascara and whatever, so I'll move on right now. But if you haven't put on mascara yet, go ahead and put some on just so it'll dry before you start putting on your eyelashes. The fake eyelashes, I mean. So next, I'm just gonna take a brow pencil. This one is a little bit darker than my natural eyebrow hair colors. It's not super dark, but I put on enough of it to where it doesn't look like it doesn't match my hair color, but it's dark enough that you can see my eyebrows from afar, because I think the biggest mistake people make with their stage makeup, other than the weird eyeliner thing, is not having defined eyebrows, because eyebrows really carry, like, they translate emotion when you're making a facial expression, and that's a big part of performing most of the time. So you want to make sure that you're, you know, like framing your face. They say eyebrows frame the face. They have a lot of purposes, so yeah, make sure and color them in. By the way, I've given up and I'm just going to use an extra mirror and hope that it works out. Okay, so you'll notice this is pretty intense, and one thing I really want to mention is that even if you don't have like a perfect eyebrow shape, you want to make sure you're lengthening it pretty far past your eye. I mean, you don't want it to look crazy like it's over here, but that also helps to make your face look more expressive from far away, and it'll make your eye space look a lot bigger and more expressive. Okay, so I'd say with eyebrows, really don't be afraid to have a bold brow look, because that means you'll just look more normal from the audience. However, just know, like, eyebrows are super individual. Everybody has a different shape, a different color, you know, like a different face shape. So for me, this is how it ends up. For a lot of other people, they're thinner. I just have naturally like thicker eyebrows, and it kind of works better for my face than like a really thin eyebrow. So that's what it will look like for me. But for you, just do like a more enhanced version of your natural brow that's like lengthened and just has like a good size for your face shape. From there, I just use a tiny bit of clear brow gel just to set them in place, especially when you're sweating, dealing with costume changes and all that. You want your eyebrows to stay in place, you know what I'm saying? It's important. Okay, so before I add a lot more blush, I like to just add a bit, mirrors, add a bit of translucent powder to my face. I would also recommend, if you have oily skin like I do, blotting your face before this step, but just couldn't be bothered right now, so this might be slightly cakey, but like I said, we're not really going for the subtle look here, so. Alright, so we are nearing the end. I'm just going to add some blush. This is a good blush color for me. This one, it's kind of, it's like a fancy blush. It's going to look different once I put it on my face. But it's like a dark, rosy plum color for me. And it translates pretty well on stage. So what I'm doing is I am putting it on kind of like the center and lower parts of my cheekbone, so it doubles as a contour and blush a little bit. I know it looks really patchy right now, but I'm gonna fix that with my powder brush again. Some people do like to contour, and I think it does look good on a lot of other people. For me, I haven't found a way of doing it that like enhances my bone structure. It just kind of adds darkness to my face where I don't really want it. But if you do it, just do it just a little bit right here. Make sure it's not too far in on the center of your face. It's not too dark, definitely not too thick. You want to keep it not in a harsh line, but like a blended line that is thin. Yeah, and you could also contour your jaw if you don't have a defined jawbone. And if you're super blonde, my tip to you is to add bronzer or dark brown eyeshadow and blend it into your hairline so that it looks like there's a defined space between your hair and your skin, and it's not like all one color and then you look kind of bald. So that's my pro tip for you blonde people out there. And as you can tell, I have a few spots on my cheek right now, so I'm just gonna go over that with some concealer real quick. Okay, so now it's time for lashes. I like to use these lashes. I think they're from Revlon. I just put some glue on them. I used the Duo lash glue. Yeah, it's pretty good. And so what I'll do is I just put some lash glue on there. I let it sit for like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess and say like 15 seconds or something like that. Just so that the glue starts to firm up a little bit before I put it on my eye, and that helps the glue to not get everywhere and kind of mess up your eyeshadow and stuff. All right, I'm just gonna go in for it. Oh, this is so hard with the camera. I just hit my camera. Okay, so I put it on there and I make sure it's really close to my lash line. I pulled it towards the outside of my eye because it helps your eye again to look bigger and more elongated. All right, now time for the second eye. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of got the glue everywhere on this eye. But that's okay because it dries clear, no big deal. Now I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more mascara to my bottom lashes, add some lipstick, and we'll be done. I usually like to combine two lipstick shades together just to create a better look. I added this one first, which is a bit more neutral, but it gives some definition to the lips. And then I'll dab a more like intense red on the center of my lips just to give a more reddish color. But I don't recommend using like an insanely bright red. That usually doesn't come off very well. So choose something that's more on like the brown or like mauve, softer undertone end of a lipstick, and then maybe add more of an intense color in the center of your lips just to give more of a red effect. But I don't recommend going like crazy neon red or anything. Well, actually, I don't know, this color might not be so bad, but nothing insane, like, and especially nothing that is orange toned. Okay, I think that'll do it. Yeah, for the most part. I might put on a little bit more blush. We'll see. Maybe after warm-up class I'll add some more. But yeah, this is kind of it. I have to go now because I've taken way too long to film this thing. But I hope you guys like it and that you will give it a try. Or at least I hope you got a few tips from this video. So I will talk to you soon. Bye!